Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So today's my birthday, as many of you know. I'd like to thank everybody for all the birthday wishes you guys have sent me on social media, and we will be doing a birthday stream tomorrow because it is Saturday today. But Donald Trump on my birthday decided to throw a rally in New Jersey. And this is a state that's not really been all that competitive, but still, he's got a big crowd, and I'm sure the rally's going on right now. We'll probably cover some of the contents of what Trump is going to say at the rally, either tomorrow in the video that I make, if I make a video, or tomorrow in the live stream, which is a guarantee. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is Donald Trump is holding a rally. He's holding a rally in a blue state, and a state that voted for Joe Biden by close to 17 points, and he's drawing a very large crowd. Some people are saying 80,000 to 100,000 people are in Wildwood today. Does that refer to the rally itself? Well, they were anticipating 40,000, but even if it is just 40,000 people, that's more people than any rally that he had in 2016. The coalition is growing stronger. He's in a blue state. Do I think that he's going to necessarily go out there and take New Jersey? Not necessarily, but it's likely going to be closer for one. It is early. He's testing the waters. People need to understand that. If you look at Donald Trump's events that he did after May 11, 2016, he was in states like Washington State, California, non-competitive states like Mississippi, Connecticut, you name it, there's more. But the bottom line is that testing the waters this early, head faking Biden, holding rallies in places where you could possibly see some down ballot gains, which you likely need in order to be able to get things done if you become president, well, I think that it's a good thing. But what's important to note about this is not necessarily that, it's in New Jersey. He's making a play for New Jersey, whatever. He's said that about New York and New Jersey and Illinois in 2016 and 2020 to a large extent. And it didn't really amount to much down the stretch. He focuses in on more of the states that are going to be competitive. And he's testing the waters because there's been some competitive polling out of New Jersey. But personally, do I think he's going to take the state? Not necessarily. But again, it is true that in the New York area, he's improving. And in places like Newark in 2020, you saw a little bit of a shift to the right as well. He actually outperformed Jack Ciattarelli in certain parts of the New York metro that extended down into New Jersey. And if you saw the similar gains that Jack made downstate in New Jersey, if he got those gains, carried over that Trump got in certain counties up by Newark, well, he would be governor right now. But still, that did not exactly materialize. But still, either way, this is great news for Donald Trump that you have this rally. Even if the 80,000 number is a little bit high of an estimate, he's still got a ridiculous amount of people to see him. He's in the courtroom, but he's coming out. When he comes out and does a rally, he's rallying the troops. And I think a lot of this enthusiasm has to do with the fact that Democrats are overplaying their hand and it's backfiring completely, and they know it. And that's why Donald Trump is able to maintain the support base. He wasn't getting these crowds 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He was still getting decent crowds, better crowds than Biden or any other Republican would possibly get in a political speaking event, but still 80,000 or even half of that. No, he wasn't getting those numbers, and part of it is because more people are tuning in now, but still, that's a good thing. It shows that people are paying attention. If they're paying attention now, they're more likely to vote in November. But still, you'll still have people that say, well, why is he in New Jersey? People need to understand this. You can look at the county map and you could zero in on this. Donald Trump is going to Atlantic City's area in this county, which I think he will flip back this time. I think New Jersey could very well be within 10 points. But the main takeaway is that it's like an hour away from Philadelphia. That is a tourist destination for a lot of people in the Philadelphia metro and some other places in eastern Pennsylvania. And that is where Donald Trump is going to need to, make up some ground. He's going to have to move some of these counties right the way he did in 2016, maybe not so much in 2020, but make the case that Joe Biden even though he's Mid-Atlantic Joe, she says he grew up in every community. Technically, he did grow up in Pennsylvania, but we know that he's a compulsive liar and tries to pass himself off as Scranton Joe, Irish Catholic Joe. Yeah, not really. The fact that he hasn't been excommunicated by now is nothing short of miraculous, but people know it by now, even if they didn't know it back then. And Donald Trump being that working class type of candidate that can inspire turnout better in some of these places than any down ballot Republican in Pennsylvania could that ran a weak campaign in 2022. Well, it's a good sign for Donald Trump and going up against Joe Biden, getting back into the White House. And the fact that he's got all these people there in Atlantic City, he's not going just for New Jersey. He's kind of head faking the Biden camp while he's doing it, which is smart. But still, the media market matters. Half of southern New Jersey, it's all in the Philadelphia media market. He should honestly go to North Delaware too. Make the case that Joe Biden has failed where he's come from. Drive that wedge. That's possibly another rally spot. I don't think Trump's going to win Delaware. Obviously, maybe if Biden, in a future election, Republicans could make it competitive, but still, I do think that Trump needs to make that case that Biden has failed where he's from, more than he's failed basically the rest of us, which he's failed a great deal. And if he's able to do that, well, he's going to be the next president because Pennsylvania is crucial. He's likely got Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, Wisconsin. He's up in all those states, but they'd be irrelevant if he takes Pennsylvania and just Georgia. And doing this in New Jersey, a little bit of a head fake, but still absolutely genius strategy from Donald Trump. And a lot of these people that act like they're know-it-alls regarding politics will say it's a bad move to focus on a safe blue state, but they don't understand it's kind of a double-edged sword, and we're this far out. But the media market, you talk about what rallies do, registers a lot of voters. A lot of those voters there are from Pennsylvania, for one. And for two, the media market will basically showcase what's happening. The local news media, which is going to be obviously maybe still biased in some cases, but still less biased than your national media, they're showing clips of Trump talking about certain things, and people get that on their nightly news, and they'll be showcasing that. So that's good news. Now, there's some other things that have happened recently that I wanted to cover in this video as well. Democrats still in shambles, and they know it, about the whole Middle East, Israel, Palestine conflict. You look at this is absolutely something. Because we talk about these conventions. The RNC is huge. They're doing it in Milwaukee, in a state that is a competitive state in Wisconsin, just like they held it in Ohio back in 2016, even though Ohio was not really all that competitive at the end of the day. Thank you, Trump, by the way, for that. But still, you're talking about the DNC 2016. It was in Philadelphia. Now they're moving it to Chicago, which, again, not a competitive state, but also the last time the DNC was in Chicago was 1968. A lot of social, civil unrest was taking place at the DNC. Everybody knows the whole story. We saw a little bit here and there protests in 2016 about Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders was screwed. That we know. They were upset about it. But still, it doesn't seem like these Palestine people are as likely to fall in line with Biden because they have an ideological gripe with Biden. Whether that gripe is fully legitimate or not is completely irrelevant. They are aiming to protest, and now they're going to try to move it online. And part of this might be because they know that it's not going to be optically a good look for them if they try to go out there to a full-on DNC. Because it'd be a joke, and we know it'd be a joke, and they don't really have enough material to prop up Biden on, but also the optics of it are not necessarily good in terms of having the protests, and they don't want the divide to continue. And honestly, there's another possibility that Biden won't be able to make the ballot in Ohio because the DNC's passed their filing deadline, and if they can't come to some sort of agreement, well, they may have to move up the DNC to get Biden on the ballot, even though he's not going to win Ohio anyways. But still, we talk about Sherrod Brown, the Senate race there. He'd be more dead on arrival than he already is if you're not going to have Biden on the ticket. Turnout's going to drop, and definitely Trump's going to be getting probably around 70% of the vote, or close to that, of the people that do vote. Obviously, some people might write in Biden, but not going to be as likely to do so. And when you look at it, it's like, yeah, Joe Biden, the DNC, like this guy already, like last DNC, he was online. He could, use COVID as an excuse for giving a 20-minute speech. But Trump's speech is probably going to be 90 minutes. And you think Biden's going to match that? Absolutely not. What is he going to do? Talk about Mo 16. He's going to do what he did during the State of the Union. They'll hop him up on something. He'll give a very divisive, dark speech because he can't even get his base on board. And even when he does that, he can't get his base on board. But Republicans, I will say, are still in many ways trying to go out there and sabotage Trump in one way or another because they just don't understand it. They just don't get it. And in many cases, it's intentional. But still, we talk about how bad the State of the Union was. What was the takeaway from a lot of people? Obviously, I think a lot of Republicans were able to sit back and take away the fact that Biden gave an angry, drug-fueled, divisive speech that was a mockery of the purpose of the State of the Union. But the main takeaway for a lot of people was, oh, look at how badly the Republicans fumbled the response. It was none other than Katie Britt. And just as we are trying to put out the fire on the issue of abortion, you have Donald Trump out there saying, leave it up to the states. Democrats don't know how to really run on it other than fearmonger and lie. You have that same individual, Katie Britt, introducing a bill to create a federal database of pregnant Americans. It's like, seriously, first of all, let me be clear when I say this. Creating a national database of anything is always a bad idea. It will never usually end well. In many cases, you have exceptions like obviously the sex offender registry, you name it. But we understand how national databases of millions of Americans who are law-abiding Americans, it never ends well. We know it. Whether it's a national gun registry, you name it. There's a reason why we oppose these things. It just, you are giving them an optics victory. Now, I will say that this bill in and of itself that she actually is promoting is actually a good bill. You know, what the bill does for most of what the bill stands for is it provides resources to pregnant women. They're trying to reduce the abortion rate without a national ban. I think it's good policy. There's good policy within this, but creating a database and touting the creation of a database, you know how that's going to be spun. The ads that are already ridiculous that Gavin Newsom's paying for of people in Alabama getting stopped by the police taking pregnancy tests doesn't happen. It's ridiculous fear-mongering. We know that, but still, we know how the Democrats operate. We know how they're going to exploit things like that. And Katie Britt would be smart enough to understand that this is not a good look, obviously. That's not to say it's going to impact the election a whole lot, but it's just like things like this don't help. You're already starting to turn the tide on the issue. You're putting out the flames, and this is what you do. It's like, yeah, not really the best look. She needs to get out in front of this and at least say it's going to be like an opt-in thing or say that they're not going to keep track of certain things, because when you say federal database of pregnant women, we know how that's going to be spun. Obviously, we do need to reduce the abortion rate. We don't need to cave on the issue, but you're not going to be moving the Overton window by proposing certain things that the left is going to spin a certain way. Then you go out there, cost Trump the election because of it, even though it's not his fault. And then boom, you see what happens. Stuff like this is avoidable, but I don't believe that it's going to have the most ridiculous impact. Trump is still doing well. He's still the favorite. Biden not doing so well. We have 5 months and 3 weeks to go before the election, and I am so hyped. It's going to be a great 24th year for me, hopefully. But it would be a really memorable one if we're able to get Donald Trump across the finish line. And that goes for everybody, not just me. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.